What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae, across the skyways of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. Hope y'all had a fantastic weekend. Hope y'all are having a great day. It's Monday morning, so we're going to go ahead and get into this docket. And apparently, over the course of the weekend since last Friday, the rumors have started to resurface again about whether or not this is Adam Thielen's final year. I know that's been a subject of conversation. I've even brought it up once before, but they came back up, and again, people are asking Adam Thielen, hey, is this going to be your final year? And he spoke with John Peterson from The Athletic in regards to this over this weekend. I want to say it was on Friday at a community event. Now, before we even look at what he said, when you look at what Adam has done since being a Panther, in 27 games, he has 1,629 yards, 151 receptions, 9 touchdowns, and is averaging 60.3 yards a game. Truth be told, the man's been productive. I don't know what y'all want me to say. I don't know what you want out of it. The man has been a productive member of the Carolina Panthers when he's been on the field. And considering his 1,000-yard season was the first year of Bryce, and we all know how abysmal that year looked on paper and how abysmal that offense looked that season. And the second year, when we looked great down the stretch, is when his numbers took a dip. I think that's kind of a good thing that we're heading in the right direction because we're not as reliant on Thielen. Everybody else is coming into their own, but Thielen has shown that, hey, he is a capable member on this team. We've all agreed with that. We've all said it, and we think so. But here's what Thielen had to say. He had to say to, obviously, The Athletic, it could be, yeah. I told you guys at the end of the season, like every year, you could look back and you say, hey, what left do I have to give to this game? I will talk to my family. They wanted me to keep playing, so it'll be the same process. And he followed that up with this quote right here about it. Not going to think about it right now. I'm going to focus on being the best football player I can possibly be. And you have to have that mindset in this league. And then once the season's over, evaluate. See where we're at. See where the team's at. See where I'm at individually and as a family and figure it out. But definitely winding down my career. But excited about this year and what could happen. That sounds like a man who knows, hey, I'm getting up there in age and I know I don't have too many years left. But while I'm here, I'm committed to the cause, and I love that. I want that out of my vet receiver because we all know the NFL honestly stands for not for long. But he has had a long, successful career. So I'm happy that at least he knows he's getting to that point, and he's saying, hey, I want to be with my family. I want to spend more time with them. I know my career is coming to an end, but if I'm playing, I'm going 100% all out, and I'm going to give them my best. And I'm not even going to focus on it right now because I've committed to this for this season. Once this season's over, then I can decide whether or not I want to hang it up or not, or if I feel I'm at a comfortable spot leaving the game. Because if I had to make a guess, and if I had to really talk to it, and if I was able to speak to Adam Thielen, I would assume he wants to leave this game at least on a mid to high note. If he knows that when he leaves the Carolina Panthers or wherever he decides to retire from, that he left giving it his all and left the team in a better place than when he found it and knows they're set up for success, the receivers that he took under his wing are set up for success and are going to be dominant for years to come, I think he'll be comfortable with that. I genuinely believe he's comfortable with leaving the game like that. And if it includes a Super Bowl ring in the process, hey, that's a 2-for-1. That's a 2-for-1, man. But I'm excited that at least he's playing out this year. He hasn't retired yet. He still has a lot to give to the game, and I'm excited to see what he does next. Now, speaking of excited, next topic I want to talk about is our boy, our country-loving boy, Xavier Legette, was at the Kentucky Derby this weekend. He was tabbed by the NFL to be their social media correspondent for the entire weekend. And, bro, I loved every bit of this. I loved seeing this on my social media timeline. I loved watching the videos and watching him interact with everything going around at the Kentucky Derby and the Oaks. It was phenomenal. It was fun. And for those of you who don't know, y'all know he has a love for horses. He even has his own stable of horses. He's made that prevalent throughout the NFL. He's let that be known that he is a country boy at heart. And this was right up his alley. And truth be told, it's some of the best content you're probably going to see from the weekend, if I do say so myself. Go check it out. But the NFL covered like the festivities that he was a part of. He tried some 24-karat gold bacon. He talked to Guy Fieri about cooking raccoons, and Guy Fieri was trying to get his raccoon recipe, and Xavier Legette's like, I can't give you that. I can't give you that recipe. We could talk about it, but like I love that. And all the content was genuinely wholesome, funny, and it spoke true to his heart. This is something that I love seeing come across my timeline. Now, the issue I have here is apparently some Carolina Panther fans were irate that Xavier Legette was at the Kentucky Derby and not in the lab, quote unquote, putting in extra work in offseason workouts to be a receiver for the Panthers and whatnot. Now, let me tell you this right here. First things first. If you are mad that Xavier Legette went to the Kentucky Derby, the most prestigious horse race in the world, you're not a fan of his, bro. You're not a fan of the Panthers. Like, that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Let's be honest, and let's call it for what it is. That is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for him. And the NFL, not just the Panthers, the NFL tabbed him to be the social media correspondent and said, hey, yo, go spend this Saturday at the Kentucky Derby. He loves horses. He is a country boy at heart. He has his own stable. That is right up his alley. It makes sense for him to go to that. It makes sense for him to spend a day there. And even if he didn't get tabbed as a correspondent, I wouldn't be mad if he went anyways. He's gotten to the point in his life where he's earned the money to go enjoy a phenomenal event like that. And because he took this one Saturday off, y'all are saying, oh, this is what's going on, why he's not in the lab putting in that more work. This is why we're struggling. Shut up. Shut up. It is one Saturday. Xavier Legette spent all last offseason as a rookie putting in that work, and it showed. It showed on the field when his time came to shine. And he's been putting in the work this year. The fact that he's now established himself and can do some of the things he loves to do and enjoy doing isn't going to kill us. He took this one Saturday to go to the Kentucky Derby, and I guarantee you he's back in the lab today. I guarantee you that. So if you are upset with that, I honestly can't call you a fan because it doesn't make any sense. I guarantee you, imagine this. Carolina's playing in the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl's down at Mercedes-Benz, and you have a coworker sit there and tell you, oh, you're going to take the day off to go watch Carolina play in the Super Bowl when you know you should be putting in extra work here at the job? No. I'm going to that Super Bowl if I can make it, or even if you're tight on work and you have to work that Monday. I guarantee you, if it's down in Atlanta and Carolina's playing, a lot of us are going to that game. A lot of us will make that drive. If we got the money and we got the funds to do it, we going. Regardless, we'll be at work Monday morning, or we'll take Monday off, but we're going to that event. I don't care. That's a once-in-a-lifetime event. So shut up if you are mad at Xavier Legette for living his life right now, bro. Enjoy it. For those of us who loved it, continue to love the content. Share it. Do whatever we got to do. But that honestly irked me, seeing the backlash that he was getting from some people on the internet because he went to the Kentucky Derby and was just doing something he loves to do and enjoying himself at the event. Like, I can't, bro. Let people be happy. Let people do what they want to do. And as long as it's not harming you, as long as it's not causing you problems, big whoop. Want to fight about it? All right. And last thing I do want to talk about is the expectations for the Carolina Panthers, and specifically expectations set by our strong safety, Nick Scott. So, Nick Scott, he had an interview with fellow Penn State alum Jason Kabinda on a segment called The Fairway Huddle, which is on the Penn State Media YouTube page. And it was a fun interview, to be honest, because they were playing simulation golf while asking questions about Nick Scott's come up, choosing Penn State, how he experienced Penn State, everything like that, and then getting to the league and playing in the NFL. And I highly suggest y'all go watch it because it was a phenomenal segment. And at the end of the segment, towards the end of the segment, Kabenda asked him, hey, what are your expectations for Carolina this year, and what are you looking for out of the team? And here's what he had to say. He said, I'm extremely excited in our ability to compete. Last year, we showed we had the capability to compete and win games late in the stretch. Bryce improved and had a great year along with a lot of other guys who just got better that year. And he followed that up with this quote. He said, let me make sure. He said, we've added a lot of guys to the defense in the defensive line, which only helps at every level. And I really feel like we should be a playoff contending team. I feel like there's no reason why we can't win the division. We just got to tap in to who we know we can be and be that team we've been in so many fourth quarters from the first quarter from the start of the season. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. 100% agree with Nick Scott. 100% agree with Nick Scott. Carolina can compete and win the division this year. That is the expectation. That should be where we at. Again, we all agree that 8-9, 10-7 range, that's where we should be this year. A lot of us agree 10-7, 9-8, 8-9, but competing to win the division. That is where we should be this year. And our biggest ops to win the division, Tampa Bay and Atlanta. I'm not worried about New Orleans. Tampa Bay and Atlanta are the two teams I'm worried about in order to win the division. But the way we played last year, like Nick said, if we can play like the team that was in so many fourth quarters last year, especially in the second half and the late half of the season, if we can play like that team from the first quarter of every game, from the very start of the season, oh, absolutely, why can't we compete? Absolutely, why can't we win the division? Absolutely, why can't we make a playoff run? Because that team can compete with anybody. That team went toe-to-toe with the defending champs and the Kansas City Chiefs. That team went toe-to-toe with the eventual Super Bowl champs and the Philadelphia Eagles. That team went toe-to-toe with Atlanta and Tampa Bay. That team showed, hey, we are here and we can punch you in the mouth, and when it comes down to the wire, we can go toe-to-toe with you and stand tall with you. That is the team that I want to see from the start of the season. That is the team I know y'all want to see from the start of the season. That is the team they want to be from the start of the season. And if they are that team this year, and if they do that, oh boy, will we be a team contending for the division and the playoffs. I 100% believe that. But guys, that's all I have to say about today's docket. If you have any thoughts, please comment below. Let me know your thoughts on Adam Thielen, if this is his final season. Let me know your thoughts if you saw the Xavier Legette content from the Kentucky Derby. What was your favorite segment that he did? And also, what are your thoughts on Nick Scott's expectations for the Carolina Panthers this season? Because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with two tats. Peace. Much love to all you. Also, make sure, subscribe, comment, do all that below, and let me know. But peace. Much love to all of y'all, Panther Nation. Take care. Later days. And as always, keep pounding. I'll see you next time.